Hello. Can everybody hear me? Can everyone hear me? Hey, Lewis. Hey, Christina. Hey, Color Drop. Can y'all hear me okay? All right, thank you. I'll be right back. All right. Hey, Danny. Hey, Priscilla. Hey, Lenny. Hey, Little Boots. Color Drop. Christina and Lewis. Good to see y'all. Glad y'all could show up. Well, it's supposed to get cold tonight, Color Drop. It's supposed to be 20 here where I'm at. Then tomorrow night it's supposed to hit 17, I believe. Oh, yeah, Danny, I know you're from Southern Tennessee. Looks like things are heating up across the pond there. Good for you, Color Drop. Oh, you're not late, Leroy. It's all good. Looks like old Vlad's getting the band back together over there, doesn't it, Leroy? It was nice here too, Color Drop, until about 2 hours ago. The front started blowing through, but it's going to get pretty cold up here in North Texas. Woo, man, Christina, that's harsh. Oh yeah, Little Boots, it is. It's cold up there too. It's going to be cold everywhere for a little bit. It's I guess I don't know if any of y'all wasted your time with the press conference today or not, but man, that was hard to watch. Really hard to watch. Hey Tamara, good to see you. Good evening. Got a few more minutes here and let some more people get in here. This is my first time to try this live on StreamYard, so forgive me if everything's not exactly perfect. I usually just use the YouTube platform, and I'm not really sure if I'm doing everything right, but yeah, it was pretty hard to get through that press conference. The little parts that I did see, it was just talking out of both sides of the mouth. It was so bad. It's just difficult for me to watch it, and just all the lies that are being told. And I mean, I know politicians lie, that's what they're good at, but I mean, you got to have, yeah, got to have some type of anchor, you know. But I have a really I don't have a good feeling about this whole uh, military situation at all right now. Uh, I don't have any mods in here, I don't think. Hey, Zombie, good to see you. Hey, Jeff, good to see you. You got that right, Jeff. Yeah, and it's true. It doesn't matter who votes; it matters who counts the votes and who picks up the votes and who processes the votes. Y'all get hit again? I guess you're going to get hit again, Jeff, aren't you, in North Carolina? Yeah, it looked pretty bad. Cold War, I got rid of it. But anyway, well, I guess we'll go ahead and get started. Going to try to let 20 get. There's 19. Okay. Wow, Jeff. Well, I think you're all squared away. Hopefully, you got everything you need. But the purpose of tonight's live was I just wanted to talk about planning, pre-planning, and then execution of those plans. And your individual plan and how it's easy to just go out and get all overwhelmed with data and information and opinions and all that jazz. And it's it can be overwhelming and it takes your eye off the ball, in my opinion, because there's so much data and volume that we have to process to prep, and to prep that's thrown at us, from these platforms. I don't see them in here. I don't think I do have any in here, but hang on. I don't know that I do have any mods in here, but I'm looking. Hey, KO MRD, good to see you. Thanks for showing up. Bear with me one second. Anyway, I'm not sure how to add mods on StreamYard. Hey, Jerry, good to see you. But anyway, sorry, I got a little distracted there. It's easy to get distracted, from your plan with all this information that we constantly, receive and listen to and hear and participate in and blah, blah, blah. And my first question would be, what have you done? Have you listed down your priorities and your situation? Do you know any mags in your area? Are you in a mag? Are you relying on family members? Are you single? Are you relying on friends? And so all that to me comes into play with how you prep. I think we all have to have some type of, game plan or foundation that we may have to go it alone at some point. So it's not bad to prepare for that contingency, in my opinion. Hang on, bear with me. It's not giving me that option, Jeff, on this platform. It does on YouTube, but not on StreamYard for me, at least right here. Anyway, are you in a mag? Do you have family? Are you single? Do you have friends? So establish that, and then have a contingency that, if you have to go it alone, then you have to go it alone. But at least you can prep and plan for that contingency should it happen. Do you have a plan to evacuate? Do you have routes that you're going to take? Do you know the routes? Do you have you reconned, or have you driven those routes? Have you walked some of those routes? Do you know what things are along the way, or have you just looked online? And again, I'll go back to what a lot of us talked about, and I think Leroy talked about it yesterday in his first video on Cold War Prepper. Okay, thanks, Radio Prepper. I have a lot of mods. They're just not in here for some reason. But I'll see if I can't change that tonight. I'll just try to keep an eye on it. But having a familiarization with how you might have to leave if you do, to me, that's pretty dicey to begin with. My idea is I'm not leaving until I absolutely have to leave. I'm hunkering down. I'm staying put. This is my castle. Hey, Barb. This is where I've stockpiled a lot of my stuff, to be able to respond to a situation should it occur, should it arise. Now I've got a secondary location too, that I can evacuate to. But the thing is when you pull the plug and you make that decision, it's got to be the right time. It's all about timing. Because if you get 2 miles down the road and the road's blocked and somebody steals all your stuff, you didn't really accomplish very much. Or worse, you get jacked and killed, So having a realistic plan and then a backup plan or two, and then being able to execute said plan, Again, that's why I think bugging out is such a drastic, radical decision. And you may not have power, you may not have utilities, but you have a structural building if you're at a home that you can fortify and harden. If you have been watching a lot of these videos and lives that people put out to show you how to harden a home. Talk to people in hurricane prone zones. They know how to board up and all that because it's a regular deal. Right, Radio Prepper, the absolute last resort. This is not going to be like the movies where somebody hops in the car and they just go down the road and they just have no problems getting to where they're going to go. And it's not sanitized, and it's dirty, and it's going to be a very traumatizing thing to do if you have to leave, unless you leave early and you're way ahead of the game. And so again, we can't prep for every scenario. We can only, have an idea of how we would respond. And again, yeah, some people are disabled. Some people are incapable of leaving, without help. And some people are on dialysis or require other medical devices to stay alive. Yeah, of course, Christina. Yeah, and again, everybody's completely different. Do you live in an urban area? If you live in a if you live in a downtown Dallas loft, you might want to get your keister out of there way before anything goes down. If you even get a hair standing up on the back of your neck for anything, that's a real deal there. Now, if you live out in the suburbs or the country, obviously you've got some different decisions to make, and you probably got some different capabilities as well. But if you do have to evacuate, hopefully you've got a plan. Hopefully you've got routes. Hopefully you've studied those routes. You've practiced, you've rehearsed, you've gone down them. Hopefully you've written to somebody that maybe is going to receive you and or talk to them on the phone, and they know that they are to expect you if something does in fact go down. Because Cold War could tell you, and anybody else that's been in a military conflict, that the first thing that's going out is communications. Hey, Lisa, good to see you. First thing that's going down is communications. You're not going to be able to talk to anybody, most likely, unless you've got some kind of sat device that's going to still work. Frequencies are going to be jammed, all that stuff. And so hopefully you've got a plan written out, and your mag or your family or your friends that you might go to, hopefully they know that if this particular thing happens or event goes down or the balloon goes up, they know to expect you, and they know the routes that you're going to take. And hopefully you don't have to go that far. And you're much better off in most cases, other than living in a downtown situation. You're much better off to stay put, in my opinion. I think it just makes more sense, and you're safer in doing so. Again, everybody's got to pull the plug when they feel they have to. And so let's say you do evacuate. Let's say that you don't have any comms, but you're out on the road, and now the roads are blocked. Now what are you going to do? First of all, how are you going to travel? If we get an EMP and you don't have a bicycle, a horse, or something made before 1977, it's probably not going to work anyway. Hey, Lewis. So how are you going to travel? And let's say you end up just saying, you know what, I'm going to hunker down. I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying put. It's safer to do so. This is where all my stuff is. This is my castle. This is my security blanket. This is where I'm staying. Okay, great. You have the ability to defend it, because you got to sleep sometime. And, when you decide that you're going to hunker down or stay put, then you've got to learn a whole nother set of things. If you're fortunate enough to have power or light, then you need to be able to use what we call light discipline. Cover your windows. No light gets out. You've got to be able to control noise. If you've got a generator running, how long do you think it's going to take marauders or bandits or thieves to come over there and number one, kick in your door, and number two, steal your generator, and three, worse, kill you? Something to think about. There's pros and cons to all these scenarios. Again, are you able to defend your property and your stuff, your people? It's a tough call to make, but I'd much rather defend at home where I am familiar with the territory and familiar with my items and my preps, if you will, than out on the road having to fight with the elements, fight with other people, fight terrain, etc. I think most of you would probably agree with that. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, Jeff. You feed people that are hungry, they change their tune real quick. People have children and they can't feed them, you can see a change in people real quick. Hell, you're already seeing a change in people. You go to the store, there's no protocols or, you know, manners. People just banging into each other, doing what they want to do, worried about themselves. There's a lot of selfishness out there. That's just how it is now. Not everybody, but I think the vast majority of people are selfish and don't care what anybody else thinks or wants. So yeah, light discipline, noise discipline, odors. Think about trash. If you're bugging in, what are you going to do with your trash? Because I don't think the trash guys are going to be giving a rat's ass about picking up garbage. Yeah, good point, Leroy. Yeah, and Waco is a screwed up mess anyway. Looks like Beirut. I mean, how many decades are they going to work on that damn interstate? It's ridiculous. Better off to go around. But yeah, all this stuff is things to think about. I know that a lot of you probably already there, you know, but yeah, absolutely, Jeff. Very true. You know, during Ice Mageddon here, I got bored one day and just figured out I'm going to haul ass up to the Home Depot. I got a 4-wheel drive with mud tires that's got good grip. I'm going to just run up to the Home Depot and see what's going on. I heard they were open, so I went up there. I didn't need anything. I just wanted to get out. Went up there and they had pallets of 2-foot sticks of 2x4s selling them for firewood right in the front of the store. People were burning their fence pickets. There were people buying tiki torches. I'm not sure why or for what, but I don't know what the hell they're going to do with that inside. Hopefully not. You know, those fire rings are something you can get. You don't have to buy an expensive one either. You can just get an old piece of culvert pipe or something and have a fire ring. You don't have to go spend $200 on an elaborate, you know, decorative fire ring to cook on or have a fire. But yeah, again, all those things come into play. And then of course, water, you know, water's the biggest, of course. You know, you've got to be able to store water. You've got to be able to hopefully have like a bladder, water bladder for your, you know, consumption of water, storage and consumption of fresh water. Hey, Puddle of Souls, thanks for showing up. Appreciate all y'all for showing up. And again, we talked about it, I think yesterday or day before, about having a water catchment system. You know, even if you're in town, you know, you can fashion a water catchment off of a gutter and a downspout easy. You know, it's not difficult at all. There's all kinds of methods that you can research on how to catch water from rain, but it may be something that becomes necessary, you know. But you need to have that ability. Need to have the ability to, you know, accomplish that goal. Should you be able to catch water? Exactly, Radio Prepper, rule of threes. I'll tell you one thing that I've also sort of gravitated to instead of canned goods, and I do have a lot of canned goods, don't get me wrong, but I've gravitated more towards the just add water things, protein powders, powdered peanut butter, things like that. You know, obviously electrolyte packets, you know, for restoring electrolytes. You know, one of the worst things that you can have happen to you in an SHTF event is, you know, diarrhea or bubble guts, stomach bug, that kind of thing. Yeah, good deal, Color Drop. At least you've already got experience in doing that. That's awesome. But I'm a big fan of the just add water stuff. because I've prepared myself to have water and be able to sanitize water. And now, granted, it may not be an endless supply at some point, but the thing is that we've got to be able to have that capability, and if you've got water and say you're in the middle of a winter event, just like we had last year, Ice Mageddon, and you have no power, again, how are you going to keep, if you do have lucky enough to have a plumbed water supply, how are you going to keep your pipes from freezing? Something to think about, right? Yeah, I can just about tell you in the nighttime, if you're hunkering down, if you're staying put and it's night, you need to be prepared to just be dark in the house with maybe just some heat or whatever time of year it is. You need to be just prepared to go, stealth mode at nighttime, and make sure that you are buttoned up and make sure that you're secured and all that. But having plans and being able to execute plans are huge. Anybody can write something down, anybody can talk about something, anybody can give you advice, anybody can talk about this and talk about that. But if it's not executable and realistic, you're really just kind of spinning your wheels and it's just something written on paper. I think you're better off to keep things simple, keep them realistic, according to what your capabilities are and what your mag's capabilities are, if you're lucky enough to have a mag. And I would certainly, if you did create some type of agreement or a evacuation plan, please try to make it as close as possible. If it really comes down to conflict or SHTF where your situation is unsafe to stay, you could be going into a much worse situation on the road, and most likely a worse situation on the road. And I'll tell you something else, and I've harped on it a lot the last probably couple months. But, and I'm not some kind of irresponsible, 2A nut, but people, you got to travel armed. If you need training, go get it. If you need advice, go get it. If you need range time, go get it. All right, color drop. If you need fried rice, go get it. Now, I'll also tell you that you need to be creative on how you store said items. And you also need to be savvy on, caches and different places that you put stuff. There's a lot of nefarious activity underway and being talked about and being developed at the top level. And a lot of these plans that they have aren't executable with a well-armed society. And I'm not going to give away anything that I do, but I'm just telling you that you need to be creative. And whether I am, static at home or mobile, I am in a position where I can use deadly force, to defend myself and my property. Not that I hope for it. I don't. I hope it never happens. But If it does, I want the option to be able to adequately defend myself, and not just being, adequately armed, but be trained, have the range time to be proficient at using those weapons. You don't just need to be able to shoot a weapon properly and safely. You need to be able to handle it. You need to be able to carry it. You need to be able to operate it. You need to be able to you clear a jam. You need to be able to load it, unload it. You need to be able to clean it. There's all sorts of things that you need to be familiar with. A friend of mine runs a security school slash concealed handgun training company, and they have about I guess 8 or 10 lanes, indoor lanes. Um, he does conceal. Well, they before when we had concealed handgun classes. Now it's constitutional carry in Texas, so nobody's taking a class anymore, unfortunately. But he literally had a 80-year-old woman get dropped off to class one Saturday morning by her husband. They had just went the night before and purchased a handgun, like some kind of 6 hour 9mm. It was ridiculous for her little frame. I mean, she did not need something that was that aggressive and that heavy and that, tough to operate. And she literally had never picked up the firearm until she came to class that day and opened a box. That's how irresponsible some of these people that walk among us are. They don't take it serious. You know, there's people out here on YouTube that do all these crazy ass, gun videos on ranges and pull out something cool and shoot it, and they're hot dogging it. And I'm like, there is no way in hell I would get on the range with this guy. I like to joke around and have fun a lot. If I'm out at the little ranch we got and having fun and having a drink by the fire, I love to have a good time. But when it comes down to the pew pew stuff and the 2A stuff, I'm not screwing around, and I'm taking it very serious, and I'm very professional, just like I was on a military range. That's how I operate. I don't take chances. It's safety first, you know. Oh, there you go, Puddle of Souls. I like that. That's a good mix. It's a damn good mix. Speaking of, so again, if you're going to be armed, it's a lot more than just going out and laying the money down and passing the background check and buying a firearm. Take it serious. All right. Take it serious. I'm not saying that you people in here don't take it serious. I'm just saying, if you ever doubted it, take it serious because it can save your life. I am fairly proficient at the use of firearms. I'm not an expert. I've been around on firearms a lot of my life in the military and otherwise, but I still know personally that I don't shoot enough and I know better. But at least I know. There's a lot of people that don't know what they don't know, and that's what makes them dangerous. You have to be honest with yourself. That's right, Jeff. You're damn right. That's very true. That's very true. Um, but you know, people for whatever reason, some people just don't take it seriously. We have a kind of a it's kind of a scary thing here close to where I live. It's a range, indoor range, but it's a kind of a high end area. It's a really nice indoor range slash gun shop slash retail gun vendor slash bar and grill, which I'm not real fired up about. And I don't even like going in there because it's just all about show and look at me and drama. And I'm just not into that at all. It's, people go there for like, blind dates and stuff. And I don't get it. I agree with you, Jerry. I'm the same way. I mean, Puddle of Souls, you're asking a question about range time, and it depends on the person. I would think, it wouldn't be unreasonable to me for you to go out and do maybe an NRA qualification every 6 months, or at least just shoot a few mags, you know. Now, again, I'm out at our little ranch a lot, and we shoot quite a bit out there. So I'm a little bit different situation where I can kind of just go whenever I want, and all that. I agree with you, Jerry. People are completely unsafe. It's insane. Bear with me one sec. Sorry, bear with me. Anyway, yeah, there are Puddle of Souls. There are a lot of accidents. Actually, my buddy that runs that security company was showing me a video. Saturday nights, they would lease their range to another guy that would have a class, and he would just use their range. So they would lease him range time for his classes to come over there and shoot. And they showed me the video. This guy was on the end, on the far right. He's shooting a 44 Magnum, boom, Dirty Harry style, boom, stainless, boom. And he's actually on video. He basically just expends the cylinder. There's no rounds left in it. And he actually takes the gun and goes like this and looks down the barrel. I mean, this day and age, somebody actually did that. Hey, Lake, good to see you. Thanks for showing up. I think that, and the guy did it twice. The first time he did it during a flurry of rounds, the instructor didn't see him. The second time, he was right behind him and saw him do that, and he totally power elbowed him in the back of the head because he thought he was committing suicide on his range, on his buddy's range. So yeah, people don't take it serious, and accidents happen all the time. I was there one day doing a qualification, and he just, my buddy said, "Hey, I'm by myself. Can you just kind of help me be eyes and ears on the range, just from a safety perspective, on the other end?" And I'm like, "Sure." Her husband and wife came, young couple, came and they got matching 380s. It was a real, cute moment, and they was all good. They were safe. They seemed safe. They seemed, very interested in learning, and somehow I looked away and looked back, and the wife managed to get her 380 rounds in the mag backwards. I had to keep looking at it going, this doesn't look right. Something's wrong. But she was able to get about 3 or 4 of those bullets in backwards in that magazine. I didn't even think it was possible, but she found a way. Anyway, that same class, that little old lady I told you about, that showed up the morning of with a brand new Sig Sauer. Hey, farmer son, good to see you. Thanks for showing up. Well, when you're on the range, you wear earplugs, right? So this instructors have to scream and yell at people to make them hear them. And the lanes are all lined up, and she was sort of in the middle, and she couldn't hear anyway, and much less without earplugs on. Nevertheless, the long story short, the lady didn't have any business being on a range of any kind. She didn't need a gun in her hand. She needed a rolling pin or something, because she didn't have the dexterity or the wherewithal to handle a firearm of any kind. But he was barking out commands on the range, and she couldn't hear. She's going, what? And she's got this gun, and she's going, what's he saying? Just pointing it around to everybody. Everybody is jumping, behind each other, trying to get away and, use somebody as a shield. But yeah, she was removed and, told to, this wasn't for her. Yeah, this was crazy, Puddle of Souls. I saw it myself. It was crazy. But that was just like one weekend. And I told my buddy when I left there, I said, man, let me tell you something. I said, if you're not wearing a vest every day in here, he's on the range 3 or 4 times a day. I was like, if you're not wearing a damn vest in here, you are crazy as hell. But he was so desensitized to unsafe behavior that he just sort of like went with it. I was like, dude, you need to get a vest quick. You know, I mean, it's a matter of time. But anyway, back to our, live meeting tonight, which was a proper planning and execution of proper plans, right? There's a saying that we had in the military, and Jerry and the rest of you vets and Cold War can back me up on this. Proper planning prevents piss poor performance. Is that right? Am I saying that right, guys and gals? Hey, Bigfoot, thanks for coming. Proper planning prevents piss poor performance. I think that's right. So keep that in the back of your mind when you're doing this stuff. And again, everybody's situation is different. Everybody's geography is different. Everybody's climate's different. Everybody's topography is different. Are you around water, natural water? Are you not? Are you in the city? There's all kinds of factors and issues that go in to this stuff. And I know that most of y'all know this, but it's still something that we need to think about. And again, if I were to give anybody any advice at all on properly preparing, it would be to keep it simple. And again, it's easy to get wrapped up in the stuff. But technically, if you've got a good skill set, if you've got a good head on your shoulders, if you have contingency plans and a few tools, you should be able to do just fine. Now, I want to go back around to the issue with the current conflict. That's right, radio. I read on TNS that Vlad gave NATO 48 hours to sign this treaty. And it's about seeing who's going to blink. And I don't think Vlad's going to blink. I thought he's going to bring another 80,000 in overnight, or maybe as we speak. It's night over there, early morning. And I don't think he moves 200 grand into place and not have full intention of pulling the trigger on something. Pardon the pun. So yeah, we've got this bad storm going. We've got the pandemic. We've got supply chain shortage. We've got conflicts abroad. And yeah, absolutely, Barb. You stay safe. Report back into us. Let us know you're okay. I don't think that he's going to blink. I'm not saying the man wants a full-scale, nuke launch, because that's bad for everybody. But I don't like the outcome of this. I think that, and again, I've said this before. If you listen to him speak on the reasons why he's doing what he's doing, I can't say that I really disagree with him. If Texas was Russia and Oklahoma and Louisiana and Arkansas were Ukraine, I'd have a problem. Hey, Mary, thanks for showing up. I'd have a problem with Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Louisiana putting missiles on my doorstep. I don't think that's unreasonable. I mean, he launched into a reasoning that we start a lot of wars. We go a lot of places and we drop a lot of ordnance on people and mess up countries quite often. And as a veteran, that pains me to say that, but it's not a lie. A lot of times we have good intentions and we have, you know, we have bad intentions too. And I can't say I disagree with the man. Now, whether that's his real reasonings, I don't know. I heard the man's in trouble politically back home. And, you know, it's not just about waving the red, white, and blue and saying you back America no matter what. I mean, of course I back America, and I, you know, I'm a veteran, and I, you know, I bleed, you know, red, white, and blue. But we're being basically called, you know, this game of cards, Texas Hold'em, whatever. He's called us, and so, you know, when it comes to standing up to a formidable opponent, what are we going to do? And it's I have a bad feeling about it. Especially, I would be worried if I was in Europe, for sure. And you know, they've threatened to put ICBMs in Cuba and Venezuela, and I'm sure there's subs out there right now. The man's a tactician. I'm not going to sit here and say that their technology is equal to ours, but if you can get something snuck in here, you know, all those ships sitting out on the coasts, just sitting there. I'm just saying, something to consider. But you know, I don't want this to get turned into a rant over that. I just wanted to, you know, say that there's just a lot of nefarious things going on, and I'm afraid that this current government is so full of amateurs that it makes it even double dangerous. This blinking guy to me looks like a deer in the headlights. I don't know about y'all, but I'm not impressed with this guy at all. He looks like some kind of, you know, clown they pulled out of the IT room at IBM or something. I mean, he just does not impress me at all. His mannerisms are not believable. He doesn't look up to the job to me. He looks like, you know, just some kind of little snitch guy that always got ahead by snitching people out or something. I don't know. I just don't like the guy, and I'm not comfortable with him running the show for us, you know, from a Department of State perspective. Hey, B Charming, good to see you. Um, but I don't know. What do y'all think? You know, I'm always interested in what the chat thinks and what all these subs think, and I'm always interested in and appreciate your opinion. Um, you know, I only speak from my perspective as being, you know, overseas during the Cold War and kind of living through a tense time, and then what I've learned along the way and all that. And I certainly don't know it all, but it is interesting to hear what you guys and gals think. That's funny, Lewis. Yeah, it's not looking good for you guys up north either. There, Lewis. That's hmm, I don't know. I think that we all better like I said, keep praying, and hopefully people will reconsider. Nah, Blinken's a clown. I don't trust him one bit. He's a weird looking dude, and I don't like the way he speaks. He speaks with zero authority or credibility. It's all just dribble and, you know, feel good stuff. This is my first time to use StreamYard Lake. I don't even know if I gotta click something to change mods. I mean, I would think it would still carry over from YouTube, but I don't know how to tell that, so apologies. You got that right, color drop. Hey, Dragonflies, good to see you. Thanks for showing up. Oh, yeah. Well, all they want us for is be worker bees. And they just want to take, take, take. They're going to squeeze the middle class like they always do. Tammy, thanks for showing up. But, you know, there's a lot of people that are out and about buying up preps. I saw that today. It was a little bit more intense than usual. And I was able to go online and get some of that powdered peanut butter from Augustin Farms. That was a pretty good move, I thought, today or yesterday, actually. I also was able to pick up a couple of 20-gallon water bladders, and they were $30 a piece. And that was a pretty good move, I thought. Oh, you're all right, ETP. You're good. Thanks for showing up. No need to apologize at all. Um, yeah, Radio Prepper, I see that online all the time. Every day I'll see the videos. And it's not like that here. It's not like that here where I'm at, North Texas. It's not like that. I'm not saying it's not coming. I'm not saying we don't have high prices. We do. There was a few things today that were missing, like the little cutie oranges or tangerines. Those were low. But the rest of the produce looked good. I mean, it's not very good produce, but it was available. Creamer was good. Creamer is usually annihilated. There's usually hardly any coffee creamer at all. Oh, good job there, farmer son. Got some contractor bags. That's always handy. Good for you, Buzz. Fill them gaps, Jack. I know you are. Shoot. Good for you, Leroy. But yeah, I went ahead and I take these Mesoprol heartburn tablets, and I take one every morning. And since I've done that, I have not had heartburn one day. That was a couple years ago. I've not had heartburn one day since I started taking those. So I always have a pretty good supply of those. But I went ahead and just loaded up more because I'm like, damn, if I'm gonna have to eat some suspect food, at least I want to have that, you know. And I also picked up, the normal pain reliever stuff, Uh, try some of those mesoprols, Dragonflies. I tell you, it's a game changer. My life, I was miserable before I started taking those. I'm telling you, you can get a 42 count pack at Wally World for, I think it's about 17, $18 where I'm at. Mesoprol, I think is how you pronounce it. But yeah, there's nothing worse than having to deal with that every day, for sure. I'll tell you what else I was able to pick up that I'm not really into, but having watched Off the Wall and Dragonflies video the other day, well, you can get it at Kroger's too, Dragonflies, or any pharmacy should have it on the over the counter. in the over-the-counter area. I was able, what I was saying, dragonflies, and having watched you and KJ the other night talking about your teas and stuff, spices, I was able to buy some of that turmeric tea, and then also I couldn't find the woodworm, but I was able to find some lemon and ginger tea. So those are areas that I'm not real schooled in, but I was glad that I saw that on your channel because that gave me some ideas on stuff I could go get. Yeah, look for Omezaprole, I think it's called. I'll try to send you guys a email on it if you can't find it. But they're pretty popular. I think is it Prilosec? I think it's the same thing. It's just a generic version of Prilosec, I think. Thanks, Radio Prepper. Thanks for showing up. I appreciate you coming by. Stay safe out there. But anyway, you know, again, not everybody's in the luxury of having land or a mag or a lot of family, but you can still work on that right now. You know, there's a lot of people that are willing to guide you and help you out, but you have to reach out to them. They're not going to always go to you. You've got to know when to reach out and who to reach out to. But there's a lot of people in this community that will help you, and they're all over the United States and other countries as well. And I certainly rely on a lot of these folks myself. And again, I'm always trying to learn more and get better. And we all should be doing that. We all don't know everything, you know. And once you think you got it licked, you're going to be sadly mistaken. You're going to be surprised, and it's probably going to be painful. Because the only one that knows what's going to really go down and when it is going to occur and how it's going to occur is that man right up there. Exactly, Mary. And you know what? We don't have to have ego and you know, chutzpah and all that. It's about, I don't care if one person in this chat finds something useful. I don't care if that's the only person that we reach that night. At least we reach somebody. Sort of like helping the drug addict, out of addiction. As long as you can get one person or lead one person to Jesus, you've accomplished something. And that's how we all should be. I've got a lot to learn, and I don't know a whole lot about IT and tech and all that stuff, but I'm trying to learn it. And there's a lot of people that I'll email or call or text every day, and they'll be willing to help me out through directions or whatever. Actually, I did that yesterday with a very reliable person that's in here right now, and she helped me out, and it worked out good. And so, nobody needs to feel dumb about asking a question, no matter what it is. We've got to be able to rely on each other, and we got to be. I've talked about this with several people. We've got to learn. We've got to be credible, right? We can't just throw out information. We can't just talk about things without show and tell and showing some things. We got to make it relative and practical. Some people learn by, visuals. Some people learn by touch and feel. Some people don't want to learn anything. They just are worried about themselves, and that's okay too, But if it really goes down the way we think it's probably going to go down, a lot of us, it's going to be ugly as hell. That's right, Cold War. It's going to be interesting if this thing really goes down, if the balloon really goes up. It's going to be interesting, and it will be, a precursor to probably the rest of this nation, how we react. I'm not saying I want to get into a slinging, ammo match with another superpower, but you've got to be able to make your point known, and you got to be credible. That's the one thing that 45 had, was that whatever your differences may have been with him, I think people knew if he said something, he meant it. Kind of like, like Reagan, peace through strength. Walk softly, carry a big stick. That's right, ETP. And again, remember, prepping is not about comfort. I'm not saying that some things shouldn't bring you comfort. They should, but if you are focusing on comfort items for SHTF, you're missing the boat completely, in my opinion. It's about getting by. It's about trying to stay as healthy as you can, and about bringing other people along that may not be in the same position you are. Oh yeah, there's people that do not. Dragonflies, you hit the nail on the head. There are so many people that are clueless. It's going to be an absolute disaster. And they are not going to be docile people to deal with. I mean, look at the road rage and stuff that's happening now. Look at the brazen attacks that are happening now. Hell, there's not even anything going on right now. People are just putting their head down, kicking the can down the road, thinking that it's not going to hit them. There's too many balls in the air right now. The tightrope has been stretched, and it's got a few nicks in it, and it's stretching more. Hey, Dirt Dog, welcome aboard. And Roaming Prepper had a video the other day talking about situational awareness, where he was I think it was at a big box store or something, and he was in the parking lot putting his stuff in his vehicle, and some Eastern European dude rolled up in a Toyota Camry or something, old beater, and tried to get him to buy a ring right in the parking lot. So you just don't ever know. That's why I say, if you're running around this country and you're not armed, I don't give a damn if you are in downtown Austin or Seattle, Washington, upstate New York, Florida. If you're not traveling armed, you're at risk. You're at risk anyway. But if you're traveling armed and you're proficient in the use of deadly force, you got a chance. But only then, you still have to be able to pay attention and know what's coming and know what's going on around you. And I would say about 6 months ago, I was with my grandson at a Home Depot, actually. And I park pretty close to the front, usually on one of the ends. Usually I try to kind of get out a little bit, but not be too far away. But I always like to be able to, make a quick exit should it come to that. But I was, what I do is I have him walk right beside me, usually like right to my left, because my weapon is usually on my right or appendix style, but he's usually on my left. He just knows where to line up. He's on autopilot, and I get he's beside me, and there's this dude walking straight at us across the parking lot, and he was kind of a tall, slender guy, had a hoodie on, had his hood pulled down, and he was just kind of walking real briskly, but right towards us. And he got about 15 feet away, and I put my grandson around the back of the car, and I grabbed my weapon. I didn't brandish it, but I grabbed it and I just threw my hand up. I said, "Hey, hey, hey, what are you doing?" And he was just walking across the parking lot, but he was not paying attention, and it looked like he could be a threat. But I happened to see it and deal with it. And so, and it was a situation where I was glad that I was in the mood and the zone that I was in, so I could, confront that issue. Could it have been a threat? It could have been, but he was just not paying attention. I'll tell you something else. Again, I talked about it earlier. Not just traveling armed, but having a long gun. If you're in a situation on a highway or in a rural situation out in the boonies, and all you have is a little 380 or something, you need something heavier. And I want something that's going to penetrate a windshield, a door panel. I want something that's heavy duty. Should I need it? Always, always, always dragonflies. It's a curse. I went to get a massage today. I know it's probably going to kill my street cred, but I went and got one and it was great. But I am so OCD that the massage therapist is like, "Quit fighting me. Quit fighting me." Hey, Tactical, good to see you, bud. She was like, "Quit fighting me." And it was just natural tense. I was tense. It was naturally, reactionary and impulsive to, not relax, you know. That's a good point, Color Drop. I agree 100%. Yeah, I'll usually wait. If the kids in school, I'll go to the store. That's what I'll do. I'll try to go during the day, usually mid morning. Early or mid morning, usually between 8 and 11 is when I typically go to the store. Hey Tanya, good to see you. Hey, good night, Buzz. Thanks for stopping by. I appreciate you coming. Please drop some links, Blake, if you can. Any other mods, dragonflies? Appreciate y'all doing that. Hey Simon, good to see you, bud. You're not late. It's all good. Oh, you watched the movie. That's cool. But appreciate y'all showing up. I'm new at this and still trying to get better, and watching other people's lives and videos helps a lot. Like I said, it's all about community and trying to share your perspective with somebody else, and maybe it'll strike something in them. It'll strike something in them and make them do something different to where it can help them and help their family situation. I've been telling family for years, you might want to do this, you might want to do that. And some of them listen, some of them do a little bit. Again, some of them are in a different position. They live a little bit more rurally than I do. But, all you can do is try to tell them and help them. I think the further along that the world continues to collapse or evolve into collapsing, the more people are going to get it. You just hope that it's not too late. Um, But again, I don't want to beat a dead horse, but start with a plan, write it down. Know your evacuation routes should you have to evacuate. Research it. See if there's alternate routes. Have more than one. What's the terrain like? Are there bridges? Are there mountains? Think about it. Just think about it. It's not going to be you just load up your car and you hit the road, and the only time that's going to work is if you do it really early in the game and nobody else knows what's going on. If you find out about that, you let me know. Yeah, exactly, Mary. But all you guys and gals are really sharp, and you all know something that somebody else doesn't. And sharing it is noble and helpful, and it's up to the other side to accept it or not. But don't waste your bandwidth on somebody that's just a naysayer and a hater, because there's other people you could have helped along that while you wasted your time on the naysayer and the hater. So there comes a point where you kind of have to say, I'm not going to be, I'm not going to be spending a lot of time trying to bring this person along. They're just not into it. But don't forget the vehicle stuff too, y'all. You may have to use your vehicle for auxiliary power if the grid goes down. If there's not an EMP that fries everything, you might have the ability to be able to, run something and charge something up, stay warm, whatever. But of course, if it's a real SHTF situation, that vehicle ain't going to be there very long. Hopefully you've got gas service to your house. You've got a gas fireplace or a gas range. As far as maintenance stuff goes, if you've got propane grills, propane bottles, you need to make sure you have some extra propane accessories like valves and hoses and regulators and things like that. Stuff always goes out. During Ice-Mageddon, I had a little cheapy generator that I hardly ever used before, but I just kind of was keeping it for SHTF, but it was a small cheapy. It wasn't, I think it was made in China or something, obviously, but it was, 2 degrees, and I went out on the back porch to try to start this thing and gave it, 4 or 5 good cranks, and the rope came right out in my hand. So it was virtually no help. So yeah, inverters and the cordless stuff is great, but you got to be able to recharge it. And I don't think that's where solar comes in. At the end of the day, whatever your position is on power, whatever your politics are on solar, or climate change, whatever, at the end of the day, if you want to make sure that you got some juice, you've got to get some kind of solar set up. Hey, Pinball. Oh, never mind. But if you don't have solar at the end of the day and everything, ain't working, you're not going to recharge anything. So that's something to consider. Now, I just have a little small portable kit, but at least it's something. I thought about going another direction, but it's just not something that I want to spend a lot of capital on at this point. I've done a lot of research on solar. I'm just not there yet, but I've got something. If you can get a decent portable solar kit for $400 to $500, that will, help you out some way. And actually did a video yesterday on, I've been talking about this Ryobi One Plus system. I know a lot of you all have it. Farmer Son's one of them, and a lot of other people have this Ryobi One Plus system. But man, they have a lot of cool stuff that's not that expensive. You got to just got to be able to recharge it, and that's kind of where a portable solar kit would come in. Well, I dropped a video on that yesterday because I'd mentioned it several times in lives and in other videos and stuff. And I wanted people to see what I was talking about. So that's why I threw that little short video out yesterday on the Ryobi system. But they have a lot of cool stuff that you can get. And it's not that expensive. It's really not. And a lot of people are getting these Tesla walls too. I don't know much about them. I don't even know what they cost, but still, it relies on grid power. I think for the most part. I think you can get solar panels too, but I think the power wall charges via grid, if I'm not mistaken. Hey Elaine, welcome. Hey Nunya, welcome. Hey Dusty. Thank you, appreciate that. Another area that I'm short in, or not very affluent in, is the use of radios and such. I know how to use military phonetics and punch the button and all that, but as far as connectivity and antennas and stuff like that go, I'm not real into all that. I'm still learning a little bit about it, and I've picked up a couple things recently, but it is something other than the cell phone that's going to be fried and unusable when the balloon goes up. Yeah, I hear you, Nunya, but you know what? You better get something. Again, I like to have backups. If I go somewhere and I'm low on something like a part or something, I'm probably going to get 2 of them. All right, thanks, Puddle. See ya. Nice, Dunya. Nice. You're all set. Okay, Cold War. You do have the power wall. Do you mind giving a estimate on what that cost? Leroy, do you mind giving us a sample of what something like that might cost, just generally speaking? Because that's something I'm interested in. Wow. Damn. Well, if this was my forever home, I might consider something like that. But everybody's got their own choices to make. But hey, that's nice you got it, man. It's nice. Damn nice. But power, water, comms, huge. Additional power, clean water, and comms. I mean, think about it. If you had no way, middle of the night, everything goes dead, and it's just you and your little world. What if you're out of town in a hotel? Hopefully you drove and you've got some abilities to make moves, but What if you're out on the road? What if you're alone? What if your family's split up? There's here or there because of work. Do you have something with you that can communicate? Do you immediately go into your plan of action? Interesting points. But again, I think that's what makes having your castle or your homestead serve as your base of operations so you can properly plan. Again, I hear you, dragonflies. My God. They were trying to get me for work to run up to Kansas, and I was going to have to take 2 damn flights just to get in there and drive 2 hours. I'm like, I'll just drive the damn thing and be in control of my own destiny. Crazy. Exactly, dragonflies. Exactly. But, that's why I took a new job where I get to work from home. I'm 1 day a week, I'm in the field. And then I'm working from home the rest of it because I want to be around close to my base. Exactly, Jeff. That's exactly right. 24 to 48 hours, it's going to be, when's the power coming back on? Like, look, it ain't coming back on. This is your new life. I assume you're talking to me, tactical. I work in the, I do condition assessments for commercial and multifamily, hospitality, buildings, and properties. So I go look at buildings and write a report on the conditions and possible repair estimates on things that need to be replaced for somebody that's trying to buy the place, or get a loan to repair it. Property condition assessments. Came out of the engineering world, forensics engineering, looking at bad buildings, storm damage, things like that. I've got a lot of experience in different areas in the industry. Thanks, Okie J. Yes, it's coming. It's blowing in right now. It's probably 40-mile-an-hour gusts outside right now. Yeah, it sucks, Leroy, but happy anniversary nonetheless. And I'll tell you something else. Well, tactical, sort of, but we really, it's sort of it's got to do with, we do look at electrical MEP and all that stuff, roofs, interiors, fire suppression, all that stuff. We sort of do that, but we give a little section on appraising it, what its value is, but it's a little bit different than an appraiser, but we run into them all the time. But it's sort of similar, I guess. It's a little bit more detailed. Because if a lender is going to lay down $2 or $3, $4 million on a building loan, they want to know how it's going to last, how it's built, and what it's going to cost, if anything, to bring it up to code, etc. I'll tell you something else, and I know a lot of you people already probably have this, but as far as, again, preps, for your EDC or your bug out bag or your vehicle, don't be afraid to go grab, some of these ration bars at Wally World. They're $5 a piece. I think 2,400 calories. Just throw one in your glove box or throw one in your trunk. It's not about, comfortability. It's about survival. Yeah, exactly, tactical. But you just throw it in the vehicle and you don't worry about it. It's done. You've always got something. And I always have backups to my backups. You know, say I forget my bug out bag or my EDC for some off reason. I was crazy in a hurry, blah, blah, blah. And I just got in the vehicle. I still got stuff in there. I'll still be okay. Well, good. But you can get them for $5 a pop. You know, they're not very much at Wally World. Other place, you can get them online. You know, SOS bars. There's all kinds of stuff you can get that can fill that need. You know, just getting some, you know, trail mix or something with some calories that will get you by. Again, we don't get to pick the time and place of our incident. It's going to pick us. You think the lady in New York that got pushed in front of the damn train thought she was going to get pushed in front of a train that day? No. Some animal caught her not paying attention, vulnerable, and he pushed her in front of the damn train and killed her. That's what happened. The girl that in California that was working in the furniture store, you think she thought she was going to get stabbed that day? No, she didn't. She went to work on her day off to make ends meet to, you know, help her company out, and she got killed for it. And she had a bad feeling. She felt something was up. She should have got out immediately. She shouldn't have stayed. She should have left. You know, when if I'm somewhere and I get a bad feeling about something and I've got a free accessible way to get out and remove myself from that situation, you know, I'm going to at least try to get outside. You know, if I'm going to have a gunfight with somebody, I want it to be in the parking lot, not inside of a building. You know, I'm going to try to, you know, find my way out of somewhere before I have to have a fight or a firefight with somebody. It's not worth it to me. If I have to end up using deadly force, then I have to, but I'm not looking for that. I'm not looking for trouble either. Just like most of y'all, I'm not looking for trouble, but if somebody wants some, we can give them some. That's right, color drop. Listen to those instincts. You know, a lot of you mothers out there, you know, you've got that motherly instinct. You know when something's not right. We know, and when that voice in the back of your head tells you this isn't right, get out, then you need to get out. What's the worst that can happen? You come back later when it's safe. Exactly, little boots. Exactly. You just don't. You just don't know. Pay off the wall. Good to see you, buddy. Thanks for showing up. We just don't know when it's going to go down. That's right, Lake. Exactly right. We just don't know. But a lot of us have been around the world, you know, we've seen, like, I just, you know, some people that have been, you know, in Afghanistan and other theaters of war just know we just have a little bit different opinion of the world because we've seen how other people act, you know, and we take that into consideration when we're out and about, you know, and it's just the way it is. Hey, thanks, KJ. I appreciate you saying that. Hey, Hill Country, good to see you, man. Thanks for showing up. I ain't talked to you in a while. Always like to watch your videos. Please drop Hill Country's link. That's right, Camo. Again, I'm looking for a way out. I don't want to have to sling it out in a store or something like that. But you know what? If it comes to that, it comes to that. But if you ever have to, I'm going to tell you this from a law enforcement background. Okay. Um, Having been in that field, if you find yourself in a position where you have to use deadly force, and you do execute that right, do not, under any circumstances, talk to the police without an attorney present. I don't care if the guy had a knife to your throat. I don't care if he tried to run you over with the car and everybody saw it. I don't care. If you find yourself in a position where you use deadly force, you wait for the police to come, but you do not talk until you have your attorney present. There's nothing wrong with that. And it's perfectly within your rights to do so, because you know what? You may think that you did everything right, but you may be in a jurisdiction like Rittenhouse was, and you don't have a friendly law enforcement group or prosecution group. You don't talk to anybody until you got a lawyer present. Which brings me to my second point. If you are a frequent carrier of one of these, you need to have insurance. And there's a lot of them out there. One I use, just because it's been around a long time, is Texas Law Shield. And there's US Law Shield. I think there's a bunch of them. The USCCA is another. I don't have any affiliation with any of them. I just use the one that I use, and it's automatically drafted every month, and I don't think about it. I think it's $12 or $13 a month, but it includes up to $25,000 in bail and attorney representation. There's a bunch of them out there, but it's a small price to pay. And they give you a little card and everything. You just hold that card up, say, "I want my attorney." And that's a good one too, Jerry. Perfectly acceptable. But where you defend yourself justifiably actually matters. For example, if I had to use deadly force in Dallas, Texas proper, compared to where I live in a rural based county, but a large county, there's a huge difference in how I'll be treated. That's just the way it is. Always. So, number one, make sure that you're justified in using the type of force that you're using. Two, keep your mouth shut. And I don't care, I used to be in the investigations biz, okay? And we are trained to say things that make you want to talk. And some of us are really good at it. And, again, not looking for a fight. Thanks, Lake. I appreciate that. Just keep your mouth shut until you have representation. Discuss it with your attorney. Yeah, exactly, Simon. I don't even go to Dallas unless I have to for work. That's the only damn reason I go there. It's pathetic. It's pathetic what they turn that town into. But where I live, north of Dallas, I would be treated much differently. So where you defend yourself does matter. Again, make good, sound decisions. Use good judgment in where you put yourself and where you position yourself. If you can't get out safely, if you can't flee, and you are, in a position where you have to fight, you got to do what you got to do. Just make sure that you're right. And always remember, it's better to be judged by 12 been carried by 6. No, I'm good, KJ. I don't hang out down there. I've been down there though, in some weird situations. But I think everybody agrees with that, you know, that approach. You just got to be smart. But I can honestly say, I mean, I wear shorts probably 10 months out of the year, 11 if we catch a warm winter. And I always have my with me, always. People just don't know because I'm good at carrying it. Again, it's just like wearing a watch to me. It's just what I do. If I, for some weird reason, forgot to put it on, it's either, in my backpack or I need to stop and go back and reevaluate. Yeah, hill country. They say it's blowing in right now, man. Temperature dropped about 30 degrees in 2 hours, starting about 4 o'clock this afternoon. Big change. Big change. We'll see how it goes. It's supposed to be, I think, 20 tonight for a low, and I think 16 or 17 tomorrow night, which is pretty bad for us. It's pretty damn cold. And I've had the faucet covers on for probably 3 days now, so they've already captured the heat and all that. So that was good. All right, Cold War. All right, Bigfoot, way to go, man. Yeah, wearing shorts. That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I like a leg rig too, Jerry. Just depends on my situation. Yeah, Jeff, it gets cold, man. People think that we don't get cold down here, but we do, especially in North Texas, especially Amarillo, like the Panhandle. Shit, they get snow all the time. All the time. It gets cold up there, man. Wind is always blowing. Cut right through you. I've been caught in a dust storm, sandstorm really, between Lubbock and Amarillo before. That's I-27. It's the shortest interstate in the US. I think it's 60 miles, 70 miles maybe. Something like that. It's the shortest interstate supposedly in the US, but it's sometimes it's 20 yards to visibility with these sandstorms that blow in from New Mexico. It's absolutely insane. I mean, it'll sandblast your damn car. It's bad out there. Panhandle and far West Texas out there in the plains, it gets damn cold and it snows and it gets windy. And it ain't flat either. You get down below 20 color drop, it's pretty bad. I mean, that's pretty bad for anybody, honestly. You know, what gets us down here is the ice on the roads. People laugh at us, oh, they can't drive in snow. Well, first of all, we're not driving on snow, we're driving on ice. And usually it's pretty thick and packed with snow on top of that. So a lot of people have a misconception about that. Hey, I liked your last couple of videos, Tactical. Those are pretty good, man. Keep it up. Everything's canceled. What are you talking about? Oh, during the ice event? Oh yeah, yeah, you got it. You got it right. Color drop, that's for sure. Uh-oh. Hope it ain't me. um, so what about fuel? What is fuel looking like in you guys and gals next to the woods? We're still around $2.85 to $3 here in my area directly. It's funny, Mary. Yeah, that wind is howling out there, y'all. 289. Yeah, that's about right. It's about right, Bill. Where are you at again, Jerry? You get out West Texas, out kind of where the ranch is. It's 320 to 330. Woo. Texas prep. Damn, man, I know that's bad up there now. Woo. Get up around Dumas, Hereford, and Canadian and all that. Man, it's cold up there. Okay. All right, Jerry. Cool. Yeah, tactical. You guys are going to get down below 20 tonight, aren't you? Oh, great. Yep, especially if the balloon goes up. The balloon goes up, all bets are off on the fuel. 345. Damn. Y'all need to get a horse, late, and a wagon. Tar Heels up in here. Yeah, it's always cold and windy up there, Texas prep. Yeah, exactly, tactical. Yeah, some of these people around the neighborhood, though, they still don't have their damn faucet covers on. They're just gonna kick the can down the road like they didn't learn a damn thing from last year. Clueless. Other than a couple people in my neighborhood, I'm pretty much on my own. Hey, Lucky, good to see you. Thanks for showing up. All right, see you, Color Drop. Thanks for showing up. Oh yeah, that's right, Be Charming. Oh, ain't seen nothing yet. Watch. All these smart ass fast food workers that want to hold out for 20 bucks an hour. Guess what's getting ready to happen to them? They're getting replaced by machines. That's funny. Well, hey, all right, Lucky neighbors. Glad you dropped in. Yeah, I keep about 35 gallons of fuel at the house all the time. I keep it, stabilized, but I always keep enough to be able to get to where I need to go. What are they doing, Jeff? They're out of Germany. That's where Aldi's out of, is Germany. Rationing, I'm sure. But anyway, um, I hope everybody is doing okay on stock on the 2A stuff. They're letting all their cashiers go. You have to download an app going there and fill your buggy up, and then they will charge you later. Oh, wow, kind of like a toll road. Wow, Jeff, that's pretty interesting. Okay, thanks, Lake. Yeah, we need to go watch that. I agree with you, Jerry. I agree with you 100%. Yeah, 30 to 35 gallons. I figure 15 gallons per vehicle is what I'm thinking. You know, um, how could you let that happen, Tactical? You know better, bruh. Well, maybe you're being facetious. Y'all need to buy some of my coffee. I know, shameless plug. Got all kinds of flavors, pods, bulk, beans, etc. Yeah, but I was in there this morning. I don't know if it was just the Wednesday, day of the week, but the shelves at Wally World, man, the only reason I went there is because I had to get some other stuff besides groceries. But it was just a convenience stop. It was full. It was full, looking good. Not like anything like I'm seeing on TV. And I just still can't understand the disparity. Maybe you guys and gals can enlighten me, but I don't see it, and I don't know why it is. Maybe because Texas is fully open and has been open for a long time. I don't know. I don't know, but um, it's interesting. It's interesting that there is such a disparity between regions and such. Don't forget tire plug kits, and extra valve stem or two. Don't forget extra belt. Don't forget extra hoses. I got you, dragonflies. It's all good. No pressure. No pressure. I'm just throwing it out there. It's just one of my many passive income areas. I don't know, brother. Some people have come and gone. I'm still learning how to do all this stuff. Yeah, slime's good stuff too. If you don't know how to plug a tire or change a tire for that matter, look online. There's tons of videos. I'll tell you something else, everybody. I know people have mixed feelings about law enforcement and things like that, but you know, I know most of you guys and gals support the blue. You know, when you get a chance to interact with these people, make sure you tell them that we got their back. And I'm like this as a former one myself. I got their back until they give me a reason not to have their back, and that goes the same with military personnel. As long as you don't give me a reason to be against you, I'm not going to be against you. But you go over that line and you start, violating the law and doing unlawful things, all bets are off. And I know a lot of people feel the same way. I'm on their side until they give me a reason not to. but try to support them. We got to try to support them, and we got to try to and understand, let them know that, hey, as long as you're doing the right thing, I got your back. But if you turn on the folks, if you turn on the folks, I mean, trust me, most experienced people in law enforcement know that they need us. They know that we need us, and they need us a lot more than we need them. That's right. And you know what, people? Let me tell you something. It's so funny how a lot of these society people just think that the cops are just going to be there for them, and naturally they would be. But you combine the defund the police movement, the anti-cop rhetoric, the anti-cop, people that are out there. If it really hits the fan, they're going to be home protecting their own families. They're not going to be out there screwing around with us. Okay, that's just the facts. Texas Prep, if you're asking me about the coffee, I like them all. Breakfast blend is good. Pumpkin spice is good. And they're all about the same price. So it's just whatever you want to try. If you're talking about my brand, I'm not sure what you're referring to as far as coffee goes, but absolutely, Lake. Good point. A lot of people will ask this question. They'll do a poll. I've seen this poll a lot. They'll say, if a member of law enforcement is in distress, will you stop and help them? And I think the answer is unequivocally yes, without a doubt. Like I said, Texas Prep. With this here, Hill. Texas Prep. I like the pumpkin spice. I like the breakfast blend. There's some Nicaraguan. There's all kinds of coffees in there. They're all good. And if you're talking about this, if you're talking about that, Bill, and that's just a tactical AR platform 12 gauge, 10 round mag, which is what I'm grabbing when SHTF hits. I don't got to be good. I just got to be close. Yeah, I'm not a real coffee snob, to be honest. I mean, there's some higher octane coffees that I really like. Like I like Death Wish coffee a lot, but it's expensive, dollar a cup, dollar plus a cup usually. The pods, um, but Rev is another good one if you like a lot of octane. And I need caffeine pretty good, pretty good dose of caffeine to get my stuff going. Hey, Shift, welcome. Rev brand coffee, REVV, two V's, Rev, like Rev in an engine, motorcycle engine. Is a really strong coffee, and it's about 50 cents a cup if you buy it at Wally World or Kroger's. So there's a lot of options with that. I'm not really a coffee snob. I just like different ones. It depends on my mood. If I want a big jolt of, I usually drink the strong stuff in the morning, and I'll go to some of my stuff during the day. Thanks, Bill. Catch you later, man. Don't be a stranger, buddy. Appreciate you coming by. is uh is 101 doing something tonight? I haven't even looked, to be honest, people. Yeah, sorry to hear that, Dusty. Hey, welcome, Aaron. How are you? I'll have to confess, Jeff, I will drink Starbucks if somebody buys it for me or gives it to me in hand. I will not pay Starbucks any money. Okay, Lake, thanks. I guess that's why y'all are still here. I didn't want to step on any toes. Arbuckles Ariosa. Okay. But anyway, you tell these youngsters to go out and buy canned goods and this and that, and stacking it deep for their homes and apartments. And sometimes they listen to you, sometimes they don't. But at least you gave them the information. What they do with it is up to them. The old adage, "You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink," is very true. Hey, thanks, Jerry. It really wasn't that expensive. It was around 450 with the they come with a it comes with a 5 round mag, two 5 round mags, and a 3 round mag. And then this 10 rounder here, I had to buy aftermarket from a company over in Coppell, which is called Gun Mag Warehouse. But this particular mag platform, it fits several different um, firearms of that nature, and the 10 rounder was just a no brainer. But yeah, I like it. It's real balanced, and it's simple to operate, and it's got some kick to it. My cousin, I handed it to him. Uh, for I'd never even shot it yet, and we were out at the ranch, and my cousin was going to go kill a pig down at his one of his feeders, and I said, "Here, take this," and he went down the road and he shot a big boar in the back quarter with the first shot and buckshot, and it just snapped both its back legs immediately. It's a bad little mamma jamma. But yeah, I run buckshot and slugs in it, for the most part. Now, my long gun I keep in my vehicle is really just a cheaper 12 gauge pump. It's something other than a handgun. It's not my most expensive weapon because I don't want to, if something, someone were to, somehow gain access to it and rip it off, it's not that much of a loss to me. Um, but again, I like backups, so this is kind of my home defense thing here, and it's always ready to rock and roll. And then again, in my vehicle, I've got another one, and then so on and so forth. We sure do, Mary. Yeah, there's no pork shortage here. That's for damn sure. They're not even a game animal. We can hunt them year round here. But I will say this: somebody that's hunted them for a while and eaten my fair share of wild pork, I will tell you that you really want to stay with the small young ones. 60 pound, 50 to 60 pounds, sows primarily. Stay away from the boars of any size, honestly. But we'll never really control them at this point. They breed too rapidly and they all survive, so it's really just about trying to maintain some type of control on them, and that's why the state doesn't control how you can kill them. they want them gone. But here we'll go till 7:45. If that's cool with everybody. That way, some people can have the rest of their evening, do what they want, go watch who they want. But it's been fun. I appreciate the interaction, and I hope getting back to the main reason for the video tonight. Bye, Tamara. Thanks for showing up again. Having a plan on paper, sharing that plan with your close family, friends, Mag, and knowing what you're going to do, at what point you're going to do it. What's going to be the driver for you to end up actually having to leave your home. And hopefully that's a last absolute resort. No, we're still going to go till 7:45 shift. This is kind of giving a pre countdown to the ending here. Not that I don't love talking to y'all, I do. But I'm sure everybody's got work to do and whatever wants to relax. But I appreciate all you veterans out there that have kind of helped me along here, Lake and Farmer Son and Dragonflies Shift, and thanks for everybody that's modded, helping me out. It's all good, to have help from other people that are experienced. Thanks, Jerry. I appreciate that. But having a plan and being able to execute that plan is huge. And prepping is all good, and it's good to have capabilities, and it's good to have stuff, and it's good to have food and spices and trinkets and gadgets and all that jazz. But really what I think counts the most is the proper mindset and the good judgment that a bad list of choices is going to confront you with. Got to have good judgment to make good sound decisions. Simon, I don't know about all that. If that's something that bothers you, take it into consideration. But I'm not saying, put it on paper and mail it to everybody in the world. I'm just saying have yourself a game plan, so you can stay with it, right? Okay, tactical. I'll definitely list you. Appreciate that. It's to me, it's about being credible. And, I'm typically not going to pontificate about a subject that I don't feel I know something about. I'll defer to other people, and I have no problem with doing that. Medical stuff, I know a little bit about it, but there's other people that are close to me that are experts in it. So I feel confident about stacking good sound medical supplies and equipment that can be implemented by other people that are qualified, And so that's something that's huge to me, But having a plan, a discernible plan on paper, a game plan, if you will, a pros and cons of each situation, and then how are you going to execute it? And you may just need to think about it, and go through different scenarios in your head. At the end of the day, a lot of this stuff, it will consume you if you're not careful. It's easy to take over, with your free time that you have, I'm always, thinking about it. Unfortunately, it's sort of a curse in a good way, I guess. But again, everybody's situation is different. Your geographic location is different. Your climate's different. Your budget is different. Your age is different. Your health situation is different. Your everything is different for everybody, most likely. And so um, you have to be able to make good sound judgments on your situation, and that's it. And just because I have IV equipment, and IV bags and the proper catheters and such that go along with it, doesn't mean you need to. It's just, again, my situation is different because I have medical professionals in the immediate family that know how to use that stuff and have good experience in it. And that's just my situation, you know. I mean, I'm not a gunsmith, but I know enough about it to handle my stuff if something malfunctions for the most part. Know enough about construction to get things done. I'm not going to go frame a house, but I know enough about it to do something small if I need to, and get by. You know, I know enough about car mechanics. Luckily, I had a dad and a granddad that showed me a lot of stuff when I was a kid. That's another thing. These topics just lead one thing to another. You got to teach these kids how to do stuff. How many kids out there, how many adults don't know how to change a damn flat tire? I mean, are you serious right now? I mean, that is basic. They should make a kid, you know, change a tire before they can get their driver's license. Hey, Roman Prep, we're good to see you, man. Appreciate you showing up. How to change a flat. Do you even know what to do if you have a flat? Pull off the road, try to find a safe level spot. It's like you got to be smart. You got to be prepared. It's not just, I would say, probably Pedialyte, Mary, to answer your question. What's the next best thing for you if you don't have an IV bag of fluid? I would say probably some type of Pedialyte fluid you can drink, or they make these BioLite. I think that's what it's called. It's like IV in a bottle that you drink. Something with electrolytes in it. I would think, Mary, would be my best guess on that. Anybody else with medical knowledge want to chime in on Mary's question? There you go, Jerry. Smart. I'll tell you something else, people. If you've got stuff like, you got stuff like this on the, hidden or on the wall or in the safe, the little thing right there, go ahead and load them. You ain't going to have time to be loading magazines if something goes down. Get the damn things loaded. If you don't know what a uniloader is, or U-loader rather, I've done a video on it in the past. It's it's a little tray and allows you to load AR platform and AK platform magazines with the right fried rice. Keep those mags loaded. Okay, think about it. Yeah, I mean, you got to be able to change a flat, right? I mean, come on now. I don't understand that. That sucks, but you still need to be able to do it. Because you think roadside assistance is going to come help you when SHTF hits? No, it's going to be some type of bandit or marauder looking for a target of opportunity is who it's going to be. Am I not coming through clean? How do I sound, y'all? All right, RP, we're probably going to get off here in about 5 minutes. So if we don't catch you, we'll catch you next time. Cool. Thanks, Dragonflies. But yeah, let's keep an eye on the situation overseas. I mean, it may be breaking right now. I don't even know. I don't even have my news up or anything. turned everything off, but to do this live. But don't be surprised if you wake up in the morning and it's all SHTF. Don't be surprised. Have your plan. The lights go out, they're probably going to stay out. I like that, Jerry. That's good. I used to do a little security work with I had my duty belt and my Glock 17, and I carried 49 rounds on me. I'm like, damn, if I can't do it with this, I'm running. But yeah, don't be surprised if you wake up one morning or get an alert on overnight about, you know, shots fired or incoming artillery or whatever the case may be. I mean, I don't think he's backing down. Bye, Lucky. Thanks for coming again. And we're going to wrap this thing up here in a few minutes. But you guys and gals are awesome. And I wouldn't want to change anything at all with this. This has been great. And I'm trying to learn a lot as I go along here. And, you know, trying to grow and learn and teach as well as much as I can. But yeah, don't be surprised. Be prepared and be expect chaos. Expect chaos, to transpire, but be empowered and prepared to deal with it. You don't have to freak out because you're prepped. You're saved, hopefully, too. I mean, if you're prepped and saved, whatever happens is going to happen. Yeah, thanks, Lake, and thanks, Shift. I appreciate that. Yeah, of course. You know, until Bigfoot, I said, hey, keep wearing shorts. But anyway, I appreciate everybody showing up. I really do. Let's keep this going. I'll try not to step on toes for other people's lives. And, I like to watch other people too. And I know you all do as well. And again, I can't thank you enough for showing up and offering your advice and interaction and your opinions. That's awesome. It's all about community and broadening our horizons. And awesome, Lake. And getting better. And it's all about community. And please don't be a stranger. I'm going to post my email here. If anybody wants to email me. No worries on that. Yeah, there you go, Dusty. But anyway, I appreciate y'all coming along. I appreciate you showing up and taking your time. I know you got other things you could have done, but I appreciate everybody being a part of this, and let's keep it together and keep it civil and keep patting each other on the back and pulling the wagon in the same direction. So with that, keep prepping, stack it deep, and always remember, long live the Republic.